Hey everyone, Off the Mic Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope coming at you. I've been saying this for weeks on end, but it was never more apparent than last night, or depending on when you watch it, Monday Night Raw, right before the Royal Rumble, depending on when you're watching this video. But when we were recording this was the night after the last Raw before the Royal Rumble. AEW and Tony Khan have completely fumbled the bag because their mistake has now become WWE's biggest gain. Because what you saw to close that show, the last Raw before the Royal Rumble, was Cody Rhodes, one of the founding fathers of AEW, the now WWE undisputed champion, who's going into a huge title match with Kevin Owens, in the ring for the second consecutive year before the Royal Rumble with CM Punk, who was arguably the biggest draw for AEW. And all I could see there, based off what happened in that segment, and I've been saying this pretty much since the Netflix debut, when CM Punk beat Seth Rollins. CM Punk is winning the Royal Rumble on Saturday night in Indianapolis. I don't see a better option. You can try to convince me that John Cena is going to win it. John Cena's won 2 Royal Rumbles. CM Punk's never won a Royal Rumble. We've been hammering home this whole arc about him potentially getting the WrestleMania main event. They're really hammering it home. Even Sami Zayn got a dig in him. But to see Cody Rhodes and CM Punk in the same ring, they never interacted. And I think it was the 6 months that they were in AEW together. And now here we are in 2025 for the second consecutive year. These were the last 2 in the Royal Rumble last year. Cody Rhodes is now the champion. I think it's a strong likelihood at this point, a possibility, because we've teased Roman potentially taking on CM Punk. There could be an element of Drew McIntyre being involved in this, this build to a WrestleMania match. But with The Rock now, that being put to bed, and who's to say that he may even be available this year, I still think he will face Roman Reigns. I think CM Punk is going to win the Royal Rumble and face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. And if that happens, that is an indictment, a massive indictment on AEW and how badly handled that company was to have those 2 guys be on the marquee in one of the main events of Mania. Literally 4 years, not even 4 years since were in the other place. Both of them gone now. What in the if you're an AEW fan and you want to try and rationalize this as, oh, it's boring, they're using bracelets and they're doing all this boring stuff. Guys, they're about to main event a show in Las Vegas in front of 60 to 70,000 people, okay? In the other place for the championship. For the World Championship. These guys were the last 2 in the Royal Rumble last year. And you mean to tell me that AEW is a functional company right now? Are you kidding me? Those 2 guys who were supposed to be your flag bearers of this company, you burned enough bridges with them to now Cody Rhodes is beloved, top babyface in all of WWE, best storyteller almost in the game, or really up there. Main evented the last 2 WrestleManias. And, now here we are. She's had 3 WrestleMania main events in the last 2 years because he main evented both nights of WrestleMania last year. And now CM Punk, the guy who you unceremoniously dumped out of there, then tried to shame him and it didn't work. And now here you are, AEW, in the midst of your lowest ratings ever, and the last show before one of the biggest shows that WWE is going to do is headlined by 2 stars that you shunned and threw to the side. By the way, not even mentioning that Penta El Zero Miedo, is now instantly thought of as an Intercontinental title contender in 2 weeks and has been presented like an absolute fucking killer. So that's another part of this. I could keep going, but that's just a couple of examples of just how badly AEW is run when you have these people who are so monumentally talented that are now in prominent positions in WWE. Pentagon's been there like for a couple of weeks, and he already feels like a big deal, a bigger deal than he felt in WW in AEW. So if you're an AEW fan and you're trying to wave the flag still and talk about restoring the feeling, look what just happened. Two of the people who you were trying to, like, make the place big and just threw out the back door because you couldn't get along with them and you couldn't agree with them. And then people got into fights and you sided with the wrong people. Look at us. Look at you now. If CM Punk and Cody Rhodes main events one night of WrestleMania, that is the worst indictment on AEW to this point. And there's been a lot of them. The whole fight and the way they conducted themselves with that, airing the footage last year. But if CM Punk and Cody Rhodes inside of 4 years can main event a WrestleMania after being cornerstones at AEW and getting thrown out the door, that is as bad of a look and as bad of an optics look that you're going to see anywhere. It's so awful. And just keep talking about Wembley, keep talking about the TV deal, keep talking about Max. It doesn't matter, man. The two guys that you shunned away are now in a much better spot and may main event WrestleMania. I think it's very likely that this is the direction that they go in. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. Because with all due respect, a lot of the other options on the table, Randy Orton, would make a ton of sense from a storyline perspective. It's not as big as Cody CM Punk at this point. I'm sorry. I love Randy Orton to death, but it's just not going to work. And then, Cody John Cena would be a big deal, but I just don't think you do that at WrestleMania. I just don't think I think if you're going to have John Cena go for a world title, you have him go after Gunther. But that's the way I look at it. So anyway, that's off the top rope for now. I will talk to you guys real soon.